is for people 50 and older. So if everybody qualifies, but if you're 50 or older, you do. I qualify for this program. Part of it is leisure classes. There's no tests, no grades, no homework, just fun. We're always looking for instructors. So if anybody wants to teach, see me, or volunteer to teach, see me. We have everything ranging from yoga to art to history to AI, which is way beyond me. That I don't understand yet. We have music theory, we have basket making, we have so many different things that you can't say, I can't find anything that I like. My neighbor, she was one of them. She looked in our catalog and she's like, well, I didn't see anything in here. I'm like, you drink your wine every night. We have like 4 wine tasting classes. We can't find one. So she's like, well, maybe that. So, but we are here in Baton Rouge. This is where we started. We have one in a chapter in San Francisco and now New Roads. We've expanded into Slidell and Covington, and we just started New Orleans. So we are growing. Yeah, from beginning. There we go. Well, push okay. But we are growing. We have about 1,300 members, and we are about to start our classes, our leisure style classes on Monday. It's not too late. You can look through your catalog. You can register.
Put in
Yeah, just push. You can push just okay. You can push okay. Just right.
Oh, down the bottom. I don't see it on this screen. Security alert from Kathy.
So, but we do have other things like field trips. We travel around the state, locally mostly, but we do have domestic trips. We traveled to Cape Cod, a year and a half ago. We've traveled down the Danube at Christmas. A few people went on that one. In May, some are going to Greece. In the fall, we'll go back up to the Cape Cod area. And we always have a really good time. Yeah, just push enable content.
I am. We're not getting nothing.
Almost kissed you. We were so close.
My wife is sitting right there.
I shan't look happy about that.
We're not getting nothing on that enable content.
Let's see, can we just go from beginning?
Maybe I did that. That's what brought it up. Yeah. How about if we close it and start it all over again?
Well, you do that and I'll keep talking. So we do, we have field trips, we have activities, like yesterday I was here, if you know Bob Mann from the journalism department, he gave a talk yesterday for us about his new book on Jimmy Davis, called You Are My Sunshine. Did you know? I learned this yesterday. I learned 2 really good facts yesterday. You know, if you can take away one thing from something, it's pretty good. I did learn that he did not write You Are My Sunshine. He was not the author of that. I didn't know that. It's always what I heard. Well, 3 things actually, that for it to become the state song, it had to have something about Louisiana in it. So there are more verses that I didn't know that has to do about with like crawfish and gumbo and all of that other kind of stuff in there. So you might look that up and see if you can find it. And then we didn't know that he had taken his band members and made them state employees, made them part of the police force. Didn't know that either, but it's a good talk. So we do have talks like that between our sessions of classes. That's when we have our field trips, is when classes aren't going on, so that somebody doesn't have to miss them. We have luncheons all the time, for usually on Fridays or Wednesdays. You get a newsletter every Thursday afternoon showing everything that's going on. And I do want to say, I did see y'all, and I was telling her that I saw y'all in the paper, maybe Sunday or Sunday before, in the living section. There's a group picture of y'all. So there we go. For something we do. All right, so now we can click on. We can move on to the next. So do your little arrow, like your right arrow. Yeah, there we go. So when I made this, did this presentation in Lexington on what we do, there are actually 124 of us. There's one OLLI in every state. There was a man named Bernard Osher who had millions and millions of dollars. He is 99, still living, still going very well. He believed that learning never ends. Like, it should not end when you finish high school, should not end when you finish college. It just, as you know, it never ends. And so he started in Berkeley, gave $1 million to Berkeley to start this kind of program called OLLI. It's named after him, so Bernard Osher, Osher Lifelong Learning. And then he just had so much money, in every state, he said, if you have a lifelong learning program in your state and you apply for this, you may be able to get $1 million endowment to start your own. So we did in 2008, we had 1,000 members and we got it. And he can't get it anymore. I guess he's tapped out, but after $124 million, I'd be tapped out too. And I wish I could touch the whole thing, but it would probably be gone at this point. So I do like to shop a little bit, but we only get 5% of it every year, but that helps cover a lot of our expenses. But like I said, we are in these 4 areas. So there's something for everyone where they live. Shreveport is begging for us to come and start something there, but it's only me and my part-time assistant and my volunteers. And so it's a little further drive for me than these areas to go. So we'll have to wait and see on that. All right. So our classes, if you're interested in our classes, we have them in the spring and the fall and the summer. Typically 6 in the spring, 6 in the fall, and 4 in the summer. They usually last about an hour, 2 hours per week. This was our typical schedule, but when COVID hit, as you know, it was hard to get any kind of group back. And so our membership went from 1,000 to like 400 overnight. And so we still stick to the schedule, but if she wanted to teach a class on computer skills and she said, look, I just want to do like a 1 hour, 1 day thing. Okay, come on. That's fine by me. We take it all at this point. Okay, thanks so much. So these are some of our classes. Just some examples. Up at the top was ukulele. We still have ukulele. I think that's fun. It's fun to listen to them. I'm usually downstairs in the building. Most of our Baton Rouge classes are at Broadmoor United Methodist Church. We don't have them on campus. One, if you didn't realize this, if you wanted space, even if you work at LSU and are part of LSU, you still have to pay for space there, which to me is crazy, but you do. And then y'all would have to pay for parking. So we try to cut out as much expense as we can. So Broadmoor Methodist really helps us out there. Well, you gotta go back one.
Oh, I thought you were done by
Okay, so we do have water aerobics in the summer at the Claiborne Retirement Community over by the mall, Louisiana. They have a gorgeous pool. This was basket making. I mean, look at that. That's gorgeous. Like, I don't know if mine would look like that, but I mean, I would take that home. But she's happy with it. All right, now you go. We have flower arranging. They all come out smiling with their arrangements. This one was a new one. They had a pottery class in West Felicia in St. Francisville. And they were all beautiful, beautifully done. Most of our ideas come from like members' ideas. They're our best source. They know what they want to do. The library, you know, that magazine they have here that gives a whole month of activities. We kind of steal from them sometimes. If they have like a really good speaker, we'll try to contact them. Retirement home activities. I mean, some of those retirement, especially the independent living, they have the best ideas. And then we research and we use 225 and country roads to kind of steal from. We have field trips. Yesterday, like with Bob Man, it's called a coffee because we have coffee and snacks. We have nature walks, lunch groups, volunteer activities. Social events, we have parties throughout the year. Like I said, domestic and international trips, and we have something called Thursdays on the Go. When I presented this in Lexington at the OLLI chapter in Kentucky, they all looked at that and they're like, I said Thursdays on the Go, and I could see on the look on their face, like, I don't know what that means. And so I said, well, that's how we spell go. I don't even know if I could spell it any other way anymore, because that's how we spell go down here. All right. And you can keep going. Field trips. So this was one they took to Lake Martin. If you haven't been on a tour there, if you have, oh yeah, that's great. It's a gorgeous tour. I mean, you can go on your own. You don't have to go with a group, but if you haven't done a Lake Martin tour, it's just beautiful. Open your Lafayette. But they said, we want to do that. And I was like, okay. And it was kind of chilly that day, but you know, you can't control the weather around here. All right. So we do try to find activities too that you just can't walk into and say, I want to look around. Kind of like this, the crime lab at the state police office. You can't just walk in there and say, hey, can I look around? They're gonna turn you away and tell you no. But we do try to do things like this where the public is typically not invited, but sometimes we do have access to it. So that one we do almost once or twice a year. It's a really good tour. Yes. LSU Stadium tour, you know, that's again, you can't just walk into the stadium and hey, security will boot you out. So, but we did get to go to the stadium and get to go in the locker room. You don't realize how tall those people are unless you're one standing next to them or you go in that locker room. Like, I can't even reach. I have to stand on a chair or something to get where they just plug in their devices up there or in their little cubbies or whatever they're called. But yeah, so that's something we try to do once a year as well. LPB, we partner with LPB. You might watch them occasionally, you might hear an OLLI commercial. NPR is another one that we use. The band hall, LSU band hall, we got to watch them practice. We got to take a tour of it. Some of these people were former band members, so it's exciting for them. We rented a bus, went to the New Orleans Art Museum. There's just all kinds of things that we do besides just classes. This one across the road is Sugarcane Field or Sugarcane Mill. They never let anybody come. They never give tours, but one of our members lives over there and knows, I don't know, the manager, the owner of the Sugarcane Mill and begged. He's like, okay, I'll take like 12 people. And so we've gotten to do this twice. So anytime this comes up, people are quick to sign up for that one. That's free. Most of our stuff is free, these tours that we do. Okay. This one we rented a bus to Bellingraph Gardens. That was a long day. Right around there, you saw the lights and came back, but it was nice. And then this was from our Cape Cod trip. There were 26 of us went. Flew up there, boarded a bus, and you know, collect travel from Fortune. They always have those collect trips. That's who we traveled with, and so they really took care of us. Highly recommend collect travel if you haven't used them before. Not that I get paid by them. Okay. So then we have various talks and speakers. We talked about yesterday about Bob Mann. We had a gentleman talk about race in today's times. Barbara Sims, I don't know if you've ever heard of her, but she worked with Sun Records back in the day. Her first job was Sun Records, and she worked with like Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis Presley, Ray Orbison, Johnny Cash. And so she gave a bunch of like stories about how these men were not quite gentlemanly as they should be, but we know their stories. And she was really fun to listen to. She's about 93, still kicking and going. Gives talks whenever she can. CC Lockwood, if you know about him, he does photographs of like the Chappaqua, a really well-known photographer. Some of these are on Zoom, some of these are just in person. Okay. We had the Secret Service call us and say, hey, can we give a talk about like cybersecurity? And we're like, okay. Well, I'm telling you, we probably had 8 people show up for that cybersecurity. One, the ladies wanted to meet real Secret Service men. Like, they had a lot of questions for him too. They all wanted to shake his hand because they were good looking and they gave good talks. But there's a lot we learned about cybersecurity that I never that I would have thought of either. But they come out about once a year as well for us, and they're out of New Orleans. Okay. And he also said, don't, our cybersecurity Secret Service agent said, don't call me during election because I could get called out anytime. I just thought, really? He's like, oh yeah, because they send me everywhere. Jay Grimes, before he retired, he came out to St. Francisville. They wouldn't leave him alone. I mean, look at him. They're just smiling. He's trying to get in his truck. And they're like, can we see your truck too?
He's a good
He's
speaker.
like, all right, we all go look in there. I mean, he's a very nice guy, which should have been like an hour turned into like 2 hours for him to be there. But it was very nice of him to do all that. But yeah, they wouldn't let him leave. All right. We have lunch and learn, so those, you usually bring a lunch and you learn a little something. So those are always, and it's usually a member, an OLLI member who talks about something maybe in his past career or a trip maybe he took and had a good slideshow. That's what we do with that. These are just some other talks in lunch and learn. Somebody was an extra in movies and want to talk about that, how that all ran. Then somebody wanted to talk about the blues and clubs and all of that back then. So that was very interesting. We do have social events. It's not always about just learning. We do volunteer recognition, try to recognize my volunteers that helped me so much over the year. Yeah. Anytime you have food involved, everybody comes. So if I had free alcohol, they'd really turn out. But this is our nature walk that we have up in St. Francisville. That's usually a good spot to be. Lunch bunches. They'll meet on like a Friday, or it's always publicized, like when to register. And you just show up once you've registered to go, and then you just pay for your own meal. They have a good time. We've had game night, different kinds of games every week. That's always fun. This is in St. Francisville, on Slidell, they're very artsy and creative over there. I like St. Francisville has a good creative vibe. And so they had, some historic, tours of like Slidell and, art that was going on that you could look at and meet the artists. Thursdays on the go. The one in the middle was right here. We got to meet kangaroos and baby ones. If you didn't know this, there's in Baker, a kangaroo sanctuary for rescued kangaroos of all places and all things. Wow. I know. I couldn't wait for that one. And so it was very limited. It was in this room. They might have opened this up. And maybe not. We only allowed like maybe 18, 20 people to come. And that was probably the mom, but they had a bunch of babies and you could feed them with bottles and oh, yes, loved it. Cooking class, they've done it a red stick, and then a painting class where everybody paints the same thing. I like that because there's no pressure to it. That's Thursdays on the go. It's always on a Thursday, usually once a month. Okay. This was a parade in St. Francisville. They're like, hey, can we like purchase a float or whatever, rent a float for $50 and like publicize OLLI? I'm like, heck yeah, the best advertisement I can get for $50. So shoot, yeah. So they had a good time. They still get together and play pickleball. The class from the pickleball, we play pickleball. And we have a parade. And pickleball, and now holiday events. So this was Baton Rouge, a couple of parties at Baton Rouge, holiday parties at Christmas time. We've had it at Drusilla's, we've had it at Jubin's. We usually have a band, so there's dancing, we give out prizes, and one year we did tacky sweaters, and then one year we just danced and gave out prizes. Okay, and then St. Francisville, their Christmas party, it sleeps here, nobody's getting on the road, everything closes down. So they, theirs was canceled that year because of sleep. So we moved it to Mardi Gras. After that party, they're like, we are never going back to that Christmas. It's too busy. This is way more fun. I mean, look at them. They're just smiling and having a good time. And like, it's 2:00 in the afternoon, and one gentleman, let me see if he's up there. No. He says, so where are we going next? I'm like, going next? Like, it's 2:00. I'm going home. And I was like, I can go wherever you want to. And so I sent a video of all of them dancing to my husband to show him the party. And he's like, are y'all drinking? Like, they were not drinking. Like, it's around fall. But you would think they were. Maybe some of them had it. I don't know. But so now their party is no longer Christmas. It's a Mardi Gras party. So they just had it last Wednesday, actually. All right. And then we've had a king cake party where, where people bring in king cakes, decide whose is the best. Because everybody has their favorite in Baton Rouge, So, that was king cake. And then last year, some of the ladies and gentlemen, they were like, and a lot of the ladies are widowed in our group. And they said, you know, we just don't want to spend New Year's Eve together. Can we have a little get together at somebody's house and make it an OLLI party? I'm like, sure, that's completely fine. So, so now they keep that up. They love doing this party in, with each other. So it's a really good little community up there. They also have in St. Francisville something called the Witches Ride. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go check that out this year. But they get on bicycles and they dress like witches and they ride around town. I don't know what the purpose of it's for, but they really seem to enjoy themselves. I'm like, why not? Okay. And then we do have outreach events. We work with the Lions Club. We present at TRSL, the Teachers Retirement. A lot of our members are former Lions Club members, or they're former teachers, former Exxon Mobil employees. What was it? It wasn't Stanicola. What was it called? Was it called Stanicola beforehand. And then the Kiwanis Club. So we do regularly give talks with them and ask them to help out sometimes. Okay. We volunteer at the food bank. We always like that. They always need help there. Let's see, this was anytime, St. Francisville has a lot of festivals up there, so anytime they do, they're like, hey, can we have it put out a table? I'm like, sure. And then the Alzheimer's Walk, we haven't done this before, it's great, that's my dog. Mike the Tiger showed up that year, but you can bring dogs to the Alzheimer's Walk, so I brought mine, so he could walk too. And he loved it, all right. How many of you have ever been to the Women's or Men's Pennington Day? No, but, oh my God, you have, it's a fantastic event. We normally have a table there. You can get every test imaginable there on the Women's or the Men's Day. Now, I haven't been to men's, so I can't speak to all the tests there. But the women's, you can have, and I'm sure the men's too, all your blood work done. You get EKG, you can get, check for your A1C. I mean, they have everything there. And then they have a couple little speakers that if you wanted to go listen to, you could, and then lots of free stuff. Like you can get all these exhibits and hit them up and get like free stuff. So I remember one was, I want to say it was Humana, and they had the best one. It was right after COVID. And they had toilet paper rolls wrapped in their brand. So it said Humana all the way around it. You know, when toilet paper was like the thing to get. I'm like, oh, that's an excellent giveaway. Okay. This was another is Fall Leaf Festival up in St. Francisville. As I say, they really get into it up there with their festivals. She's even got a leaf costume. Okay. We do meet and greets. So we, in all of our cities that we do, classes, we usually have a meet and greet where you get to meet the instructors if you want to, talk with them, say, oh, I'm interested in this AI class. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? And then we have food, we have drinks. Mike the Tiger sometimes shows up, the cheerleaders sometimes show up. Okay. And that's the same thing, it's called Semester at a Glance, it's a meet and greet. Fine. This was one that we had in the fall with our cheerleaders, they came. All right. And we usually have a member, an OLLI member that brings good music to play. In the summer we have ice cream socials, we can meet the instructors. This was one summer, and down there at the bottom, they were doing little tattoos. They weren't real tattoos, but she was so excited to get a tattoo. And we had a little photo booth, and so that was our theme that year. And then this is from a line dancing class. LPB, we've partnered with them, and so they've done 3 commercials for us. We get to own the commercials, so we can use them anywhere we want to. So let me see if the next one is if I can play it for you. No. Oh, so we do have a membership fee. Right now it's only $25 because the year is halfway over. We do a fiscal year, not calendar year. So right now it's $25 and it ends June 30th. So there's our spring special. Our classes do have a fee. They can run from anywhere from usually $5 to $40. It depends on how long the class lasts. The longer it lasts, the more expensive it becomes. And so it says ready to join. And then this is our website, but we do have another website too that's in this booklet. Okay, keep going. And that's my email, but you'll find that in here in the catalog. Thank you, Tom. And that's the phone number. That's in the catalog too. Keep going. Operators are standing by. Not right now, like you can't call them right now. They only work till 4:30.
Leave a message.
Yeah, you can leave a message. So keep going. At least during business hours. And they're actually living, breathing human beings that will talk to you, and they're all very nice. And they'll sign you up for OLLI and register you for classes. And cover the classes, stay for the camaraderie, and then click to the next one. This should be our video. Click to the next one, and that should be our video that LPB put on for us. Let's see. Okay, can we play that one? Let's see if we can. Yep, there we go.
There you go.
Oh, we can't hear. Let's see. Let's see, is there a volume button?
We have maximum volume in here. Must be something
Let's see. Oops.
in the slideshow.
Let's see. Let's see it in here. No. Shoot. Well, anyway, you can see how happy they are. They are doing, whoops, they are doing line dancing. And it's not just, it's not just men and ladies.
No, no volume.
That's okay. But you can see this on YouTube if you just Google OLLI line dancing or OLLI LPB. But they are having a good time, and each of these ladies gives like a good testimonial about OLLI and what it is and how they enjoy it. Lots of them meet friends. Lots of them have stayed friends as OLLI members. This one they get good exercise out of. I would take line dancing. I like line dancing. I'm not good at it. I would stand in the back, but I would still take it. I don't know if I would take an art class because it makes me a little nervous because somebody might be looking at it. But there's everything. There's history. You know, you name it, you got it. There's always something for everybody. All right, that's it of me. Does anybody have any questions for me? No answers. I might have answers.
You said you were always looking for instructors.
I am.
What do the instructors do? They come and bring you an idea?
So
What
you can
about
always,
this?
email me and I can tell you like how I think it would go, like if it'd be great, or how you might wanna fix it a little bit, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
To make it more for that people. The average age of our people, this is just an average, because it's for 50 and older, but you gotta remember 50 to 60, they're still working for the most part. So our average age is usually 65 and older. They are interested in everything. Now, we don't have a computer lab, so we couldn't do that. But they all pretty much have phones. This was something we learned in COVID. So, you know, in COVID, we're trying to do Zoom, and Zoom, even for me, I had never done Zoom. And so I'm like, well, do you have a smartphone? And they're like, yeah, I have a smartphone. I'm like, you had to finally ask them, wait a minute, is it flat or does it flip? And they're like, well, it flips. It's smart. It has all my phone numbers in it, and it can take pictures and they stay in there. I'm like, yeah, that's smart, but it's not the smartphone that I'm looking for. So, so finally, I don't know anyone, and I'm sure there are, that have flip phones and all, because a lot of them do still zoom in from their phones. And I can see them all texting. They're almost like college kids looking at their phone. But I tell you, in class, they don't do that. They're very receptive, and they're almost like your A+ students in class. They have good questions. They're looking for good answers, and they're just there for fun. They're retired, you know?
What is your email address?
Let me give you my personal one.
Okay.
It's T like Tom, ARILYN, the number 1 at LSU.edu. And so right now we're doing proposals for the summer. And that's always a good time to test out the water for teaching, because we don't have as many submissions, because a lot of the instructors are traveling. But email me and I can send you the link to, yeah, and you could teach here, you could teach Slidell, you could teach San Francisco, New Orleans, any of those places. One of
Gaza
our,
Strip,
hmm,
Gaza Strip.
well,
Y'all aren't that quite that far.
I don't even want to comment on that. So we, but we have an instructor who's teaching a class on Palestine this spring. And it filled it very quickly, and he only wanted like 20 people. I asked, how many people do you want in your class? Because some people, like ukulele, you don't need 100 ukuleles going off in the building, you know, it gets a little loud. But he said, I just want to keep it small, like maybe 20 people. I'm like, okay. Well, then it just got this huge wait list, and I'm like, you were in the biggest room in the building. Are you sure you don't want to open it up to more? And he's like, I know, but it might be pandemonium. I'm like, pandemonium? What do you think's gonna happen in there? Like, they're not gonna riot you or anything. They're good people. It's like, but I've never had such like more than 20. I'm like, give it a shot. It's a big room. You can send somebody out and you say, hey, I don't want to hear anymore. Go out in the hall and see Carolyn, my bride. She'll take care of it. But you know, like some of those classes, they fill up pretty quick and, they're always interested in everything. Like, I really didn't think this music theory, every class I don't think is gonna make it, always makes it, like music theory. I guess because I'm not good at music theory, like, I don't always don't like that, and then they don't like it. It's amazing, like, they wanna know, like, smartphone technology, they wanna know that. They wanna know, like, photography skills, they wanna know that. They love history. That if anybody knows an Italian or a French teacher, let me know. We're always looking for foreign languages. Spanish we got covered. But yeah, and it could be a craft. It could be like basket making, anything like that. Anything like that. And we hire, you can't get rich off of me. Believe me, you can't. But I do pay a little bit. So, any other questions? It's a great program.
I didn't realize y'all did all that.
We do, I know. Okay, this is, and I don't even get paid for this portion, I mean, not this, but, for this other group that I found in Baton Rouge that I presented to, and I think they're a fabulous group. Have y'all checked into like the Baton Rouge Newcomers Club? Have them come speak to y'all. They are a great program. And you don't have to be from Baton Rouge and you don't have to be new. I don't even know why it's called Baton Rouge Newcomers, but it's a great program. They got lots of stuff going on, lots of stuff to do for retired people. Yeah. I'm just giving a plug to them. Yes, ma'am.
So how much is it a year?
So typically, we run from July 1st through June 30th. So that's our fiscal year. And it's $50 a year. And then, but right now, because we only have half a year left, it's $25 for our membership fee. And if you register for classes, we've passed the early bird registration. That's usually the first 2 weeks that we start registration. You get $5 off of each class. So it really adds up. Like if you're taking 5 or 6 classes, it does add up. And if you volunteer to be a coordinator, let's say that you are teaching a class on what? Sculpting. Yeah, she's gonna do sculpting. Or pottery. And so, but you want to take it, you really don't want to pay for it. You can be the coordinator, which means like her volunteer, and you take it for free. So like there's 2 classes I think are the best bang for their buck. One is called Flicks and Foods. It's like you go to Drusilla's, you watch an old movie, typically from the 30s, 40s, sometimes 50s, and then you eat dinner and you talk about it. That's our most expensive. It's about $160. That's because you got 3 meals at Drusilla's. But if you're the coordinator for it, you can just take it for free. And then there's this other class, it's called Cajun and Creole Cuisines. And it's at Broadmoor, and the guy does all this cooking, and you pretty much just watch, and then you eat. And so it's $95, but you get 6 meals out of it. And they're really good meals. And so he'll open the door when it's break time, and the smell just comes down the hall. They're like, Dave, did you save me at least 1 spoonful? Just 1, that's all I want. He's like, no, we ain't have anything left today. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I mean, where can you go for 6 meals now for $95, and they're really good homemade, like Cajun Creole food, so. That one I think is the best bang for your buck too, so if you volunteer to have a coordinated class, you just take it for free, so that's something to think about too. And we're always looking for volunteers.
I took I signed up for the bridge class last.
And it canceled.
No.
Last semester?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it was it's canceled this semester.
this time it is, it's online.
The Zoom and, I mean, offline, in person.
No, not in person, the online has canceled. Because I just don't think, I don't even know how you play bridge online, and I think a lot of people are in that. Like, they're used to playing bridge, they know how to play bridge. But they don't know how to play it online, and so I think they're a little intimidated by that, so, and it was a Zoom class, but, we'll get there one day.
Yeah, I did the Zoom one. I had a commitment on a Tuesday when they went to the library in person.
Yeah,
I have a
okay, yeah,
friend that did in person.
that's right.
The Zoom was all right.
Was it?
Yeah.
I just think people are intimidated by that, like, that's my thinking, but, she'll do it, she'll offer it again and try to get some more.
Okay, in person is.
But it's a great program, like I said, you'll find something for everybody, whether it's wine tasting or water aerobics, I would do the water aerobics, I think that'd be fun. But anyway, so, any other questions? That's fine.
Just thank you for coming.
You're welcome, and like I said, you can call the office anytime, there's probably like 10 people that answer the phone just for registration, so, they'll help you out. No, answer that's your question.
$50 per class.
No, it's $50 for the entire year for membership.
Okay.
The classes, it just, like I said, depends on what you, register for, like the flower arranging class, I think it's just 1 hour and it's $5.
Okay.
But if you take one that lasts, like, let's say a yoga class that lasts like 16 weeks, then it's probably like $90. The longer the class goes, the more expensive it's gonna be.
Thank you.
It's very, very reasonable, in my mind, it's very reasonable. All right. Oh, and we do offer scholarships as well, so if you know someone that wants to join, and, they have a hardship, and they don't think they can afford the $50 or the $25 or the fees for the class, then we do offer scholarships. And we do pay for that.
Well, Carolyn, we want to thank you so
You're
much for
welcome.